السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أحمد ربي تعالى وأشكره وأستعين به وأستغفره وأسأله المزيد من فضله وكرمه وعطائه ومنه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له تعظيما لشأنه، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة في الدين بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. نعوذ بالله. أما بعد, brothers and sisters in Islam, if there is more dictator in history of humanity, there is no more dictator than Fir'aun. And if there is more tyrant in the history of humanity, there is no more tyrant than the Fir'aun of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. So let's talk about him. Fir'aun was a zalim, was a kafir, he was a fasiq. Fir'aun was so dictator and he was so tyrant that the people of Fir'aun, that his people in Egypt at that time, they believed that he is the God. They believed that he is Allah, and he forced them to worship him. He told them, مَا لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَهٍ غَيْرِي. And he told them that I am the God, I am the Lord, and they started worshipping him. Fir'aun was so tyrant and he was so bad that he divided the people into groups and into minorities. And he used the mentality and the rule of divide and conquer. So when he divides the people into minorities and into groups, the people were weakened. The people are getting weaker and weaker, and that's how he controlled them. Among the people of Fir'aun, there was a small group. This group believed in Allah, and they believed that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, there is one of his people and one of his siblings gonna be a prophet from their own tribe. Bani Israel, they were so weakened and they were so humiliated that Fir'aun, he used them as slaves in his palace. He used them to do the lowest jobs of the lowest. And the people of Bani Israel, the people of Israel, who are the children of Yaqub alayhi salam, they were so humiliated that they don't have any word at Egypt at that time. Fir'aun, one day he saw a dream. And in this dream, he saw like a huge fire came from Sham. And this fire came from Sham, walking all the way to Egypt, destroyed every single house in Egypt, including his own palace, except for the houses of Bani Israel. So he woke up from his dream, and he was so scared and terrified, and he gathered all the Coptics and all the Kahana and all the priests. He invited them to his palace, and he told them, what is the explanation of this dream? This dream freaked me out. What is the explanation of this dream? So they told him, that means there is a boy is gonna come, and he's gonna become a prophet, and he is gonna take over the ruling of Egypt. So he was so scared and he was so terrified, so he ordered a law that all the children of Bani Israel must be killed. Any boy is born for Bani Israel, that boy must be killed. So they started killing all the boys of Bani Israel. They will go in the houses, knock on the doors, and when they see the woman is expecting and she has her tummy shown, then they will wait until her delivery date, and they will come, and if it's a boy, they will kill him. If it's a girl, they will leave her. This continued and continued for several years. But then the people of the palace, the Kahana, the priests and the Coptics, they started believing that there is no boys are coming in the next few generations to serve the Fir'aun. So they told the Fir'aun, Ya Fir'aun, this is a problem, because Bani Israel are the ones who serves us. The boys, the men, are the one who serves us. And if you keep killing the boys, who's going to be serving us in the next generations? So he said, you know what? Okay, I will kill the boys in 1 year and leave them the other year. Harun ibn Ishaq alayhi salam, Harun bin Imran alayhi salam, he was born in the year that the children or the boys are left to live. And in the next year, Musa alayhi salam was born. But listen to this, brothers and sisters in Islam. Now the people of Fir'aun, they used to come in the houses and look at the women who are expecting. But the mother of Musa alayhi salam, there is no signs of pregnancy to be shown in her. Her tummy wasn't shown, and she carried Musa, and she delivered Musa in the year that the boys are to be killed in. This is the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants for something to happen, it will happen. And you will see, inshaAllah, in the story of Musa, there is one thing, there is one common theme for the story of Musa alayhi salam, which is the confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the trust the person should have in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the person raises his hand to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he should have the confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah will answer his dua. If the person believes truly in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he should have the confidence that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him or give her victory. So Musa alayhi salam is delivered. And his mother, she was so terrified and she was so scared. So she will hide him. When the people of Fir'aun, when the soldiers of Fir'aun come, she will hide him away. And she will put him in the river, in a small box. And she will tie him to a rope. She will tie him to a rope by the shore. She was living in the Nile River. And when it's time for his feeding, she will grab him and she will feed him. Then she will put him in the box in the river. Until the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted her to let it go. And He told her in the Quran, وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ مُوسَىٰ أَنْ أَرْضِعِيهِ. We revealed to the mother of Musa alayhi salam to feed him. فَإِذَا خِفْتِ عَلَيْهِ فَأَلْقِيهِ فِي الْيَمِّ وَلَا تَخَافِي وَلَا تَحْزَنِي. So we told her, O mother of Musa, if you are so scared, throw him in the river. And don't be afraid. And don't be sad. And look at this mother. She's gonna leave her only boy to go in the middle of these waves, these ginormous waves of the Nile River. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He plans something, He is the best of the planners. Musa alayhi salam is in the small box, and the waves takes him, and the river keeps going and keeps going. And where does it end? Where does it end? It ends in front of the palace of the one he is most scared of him. He was frightened by Musa. He was frightened by this boy. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought him the boy unto his own feet. And he told him, and it's like telling him, making fun of Fir'aun, mocking Fir'aun. This is the one you are scared of. Now take it. So the wife of Fir'aun, Asiya, she sees this beautiful boy. She opens the bag and she sees this boy, and she was a wife that she doesn't give birth. She doesn't give birth. So when she saw the boy, she said, قُرَّةُ عَيْنٍ لِي وَلَكَ. She said to Fir'aun, this is a beautiful, this is a nur, this is a light for my eyes and for your eyes. So Fir'aun told her, for your eyes maybe, but not for my eyes. And it was. His wish came true. So Musa alayhi salam was raised in the house of Fir'aun. And the wife of Fir'aun, she was so scared. So she brought all these breastfeeders, she brought all these mothers to breastfeed him, but he refused to accept any of them. So she took him to the market. She sent the girls and she sent the soldiers to take him to the market to see if anybody is willing to breastfeed this beautiful boy. When the sister of Musa alayhi salam, when she saw Musa, she was so happy and she was so glad. And the mother of Musa alayhi salam, before that, she's almost came to the conclusion that she should tell the people that this is my son. But if she tells them that this is her son, he will be killed. She told the sister, go find out about Musa. So she finds him in the market. And she goes to the one who has the boy. She goes to the woman who has Musa, and she tells him, فقالت هل أدلكم على أهل بيت يكفلونه لكم وهم له ناصحون. Should I tell you about a house? He may be able to breastfeed from this woman. He said, yeah, for sure. Where is this house? So she took him back to his mother. Didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promise her? Didn't he say, إِنَّا رَادُّوهُ إِلَيْكِ? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the mother of Musa, threw him in the river, he said right after, he says, إِنَّا رَادُّوهُ إِلَيْكِ وَجَاعِلُوهُ مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. He promised to her. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises something, and if you have confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you have confidence in your religion, if you have confidence in your dua, if you have confidence in your istighfar and your tawbah, then you have to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not break his promise. He promised the mother of Musa, and here is Musa alayhi salam back to his mother. So she breastfed him, and the wife of Fir'aun, she was so happy, she was so glad. Finally Musa find this woman to accept her milk. So she says, okay, come to my palace, live with me, I will take care of you, I will make sure that you have enough money, enough wealth, and enough housing, and everything. But she said, no, you know what, I have a wife, I have a husband, and I have children, I have to take care of them. So the wife of Fir'aun, she said, okay, I will send you your accommodations to your house, and you stay in your house, just to make sure that this boy is raised. Musa alayhi salam grows up. Musa alayhi salam becomes a prophet, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends him back to Fir'aun in Egypt. He migrates through the story. He migrates to Asham. Right? And then he goes back to the palace of Fir'aun, knocking on the door. Ya Fir'aun, do you remember me? Fir'aun says, yes, I know you. You were so small and you were so tiny in my palace. My wife raised you. He said, yes, I am here to invite you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال ألم نربك فينا وليدا ولبثت فينا من عمرك سنين. Weren't you humiliated among us? And now you are inviting me to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You are inviting me to your God? He said, yes. Fir'aun doesn't accept the invitation to Allah. Fir'aun threatens Musa and threatens the Bani Israel. He's gonna kill all of them. The magicians believed in Musa, but Fir'aun who invited them disbelieved. The people of Fir'aun believed in Musa and his message, but the Fir'aun himself, he refused the invitation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends to Fir'aun signs after signs. He sent on him the lice. The people of Fir'aun and Fir'aun himself, they will drink the water and the water will turn into blood, so they can't drink it. So they said, Ya Musa, ud'u lana rabbaka bima ahida indaka innana lamuhtadun. He said, Ya Musa, call upon your Lord to remove the blood from our water. So Musa makes dua and the blood goes away. Then they continue back to their disbelief in Allah, and they're fighting with Musa and the Bani Israel. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent on them the lice. It will go into their hair, goes into their bodies, and they itch for days until one of them dies out of lice itching. And they said, Ya Musa, ask your Lord to remove the lice from us. And Musa makes a dua and the lice goes away. Then they continue back in their disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the sky hold the rain, and the rain doesn't come down. They said, Ya Musa, make dua to your Lord, and the rain comes again. Then the flood happened. The earth was flooding, people were dying, plants were corrupted. And they continued in the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Brothers and sisters in Islam, this is not natural disaster. This is signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we really believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let us learn from the story of Musa alayhi salam. Let us learn from the story of Fir'aun with Musa. As one of the scholars said, the Quran almost became only for Bani Israel. The whole entire Quran was almost for Bani Israel. They are the closest to us, and they are closest in age and closest in actions. Bani Israel mentioned in the Quran so many times, very frequent and very often, more than any other prophet. The story of Musa was mentioned in the Quran repeatedly, over and over again, to remind us, a lesson for us. So are we going to learn from the story of Musa alayhi salam? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends disasters and disasters after one another to Fir'aun, but he still disobeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He decides indeed to chase Musa and to kill Musa and the people of Bani Israel, to terminate them from the face of earth. So Musa alayhi salam makes a hijrah, makes a migration to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he runs from Egypt going to Asham. But there is a sea, there is a water, there is the Red Sea. And as Ibn Kathir rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentioned in the stories of the prophets, in his book, the stories of the prophets, he said, when they were by the Suez Canal, and that is by where the Red Sea is, so you can see like there's two horns at that space, at that spot. Bani Israel are running, and Musa is running, and in the morning of the day of Ashura, which is the 10th of Muharram, coming inshallah this Tuesday or Wednesday, so it depends on what you're following. So at the morning of Ashura, Fir'aun catches with Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. And where does he catch with them? He catches with them in the worst spot. The water is in front of them, and the Fir'aun is behind them, and in the right and the left there is nothing but desert. So Musa alayhi salam goes there, and he waits, and he looks at the ocean. He looks at this huge water, and he sees the huge waves coming ahead of in front of him. He goes into the water, and the water is so difficult to go through. With him was Harun alayhi salam. With him was Yusha bin Nun, and with him was the believer of Fir'aun, one of the believers of the people of Fir'aun. He believed in Musa, and he was with them. With them was Banu Israel. And the people of Musa alayhi salam, Bani Israel, are saying, Ya Musa, are we going to wait here? He said, Allah has promised me to wait here. They said, Ya Musa, did Allah promise you to be here? Are you sure? He said, yes, I am sure Allah promised me to be here. And he was waiting, and the people are frightened, the people are scared, they are terrified. And what was Musa saying? He says, Kalla inna ma'iya rabbi sayahdeen. He said, indeed, I have Allah with me. If you have Allah with you, who is going to scare you? If you have Allah with you, who are you scared of? If you have Allah besides you, what are you expecting expecting except victory. If you have Allah by you, wallahi, if the whole earth, if the whole nation stands against you, they won't be able to defeat you. And if you don't have Allah with you, if you have the whole earth and the whole nation to save you, they won't be able to save you. This is Fir'aun, the whole Egypt with him. And this is Musa, and a small tribe, a small minority of Bani Israel are with him. And he says, كَلَّا إِنَّ مَعْيَ رَبِّي سَيَهْدِينِ. And the army is coming closer and closer. And he's saying, كَلَّا إِنَّ مَعْيَ رَبِّي سَيَهْدِينِ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes at the moment when the hearts has been flying away and the eyes are turning red and the hearts are scared. He says, Ya Musa, اضرب بعصاك البحر. Oh Musa, hit the sea with your stick. And Musa touches the water, he hits it with his stick, and the water opens as two big mountains. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sends some wind to dry the earth between the two mountains of water. And this is by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bani Israel sees this and they are amazed. They believed even more in Musa alayhi salam, and they walk through the water. And the more they are walking, the more the water is opening, and the land is getting more and more dry. Fir'aun, he sees this, and he almost, as some of the tafasir says, he almost believed in Musa. He said, this is something right in front of his eyes. Right in front of his eyes. But subhanallah, his hatred and his arrogance stops him there. And he says to his people, look what I have done, what the water have done, so I can catch with these people. He's telling his people that this water is because of me. It's cleaned up for me, so I can catch up with Musa and kill Musa and the Bani Israel. At that moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala closes the water and destroys Fir'aun and his people. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to Medina, he found the Jews are fasting this day. So he asked them, and they are using this day as a celebration, as a festival, as a Eid for them. So he said, what is this day? They said, this is the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has rescued Musa and Bani Israel and destroyed Fir'aun and his people. So Rasulullah said, أَنَا أَحَقُّ بِمُوسَى مِنْكُمْ. And he made it a sunnah to fast this day of Ashura. The day of Ashura, the 10th day of Muharram. And say, if I lived into the future, I will fast one day before it or one day after it. And in another hadith he says, fasting the day of Ashura, I ask Allah, it will clear the sins of a previous year. Brothers and sisters in Islam, the 10 days of Ashura should remind us of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But indeed, mostly important, it should remind us that if you have Allah, then you have everything. And if we lose Allah, we lost everything. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه أستعين وأصلي وأسلم على نبينا محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات، اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين. اللهم احفظنا من بين أيدينا ومن خلفنا وعن أيماننا وعن شمائلنا ومن فوقنا ونعوذ بعظمتك أن نغتال من تحتنا. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقيموا الصلاة.